Gleison Bremer. We're here to talk about Gleison Bremer, guys. No intro, straight into it because we've been waiting a day for this video. I waited a day because I wanted to see the developments of this move, but it looks like the worst that could happen has happened. A disaster has happened. Juventus, the one team that you didn't want to steal him, have stolen him. They have stolen Gleison Bremer right under Inter's noses. He is a game changer. Gleison Bremer is a game changer. Serie A Defender of the Year last season, deservedly so. He was the one player that, after Lukaku, that I wanted and had to make sure that Inter signed this summer. It's the one player that even ahead of Lukaku, Inter earmarked as the star signing of this transfer window. They thought this guy Bremer is the Van Dijk. He is the top defender that they need to bring in to raise the level of the defense of this team, and I agree with them. But he looks like he's going to Juventus, and there's plenty of blame to go around, guys. Plenty of blame to go around for this one. Of course, first you got to start off where the things go wrong, and you have to look at Inter's directors. You guys know me, I love Marotta. I love the whole team of directors that have been doing a great job in a difficult situation at Inter. But in this one, they did all the groundwork. They started negotiations and contacts with Bremer and his entourage in November 2021, guys. This has been in the works for 7-8 months, this deal. They've had the agreement with the player for a long time. Bremer, he has been named by his father after Andy Bremer, the legendary Inter fullback, the German fullback. So the heavy interlinks. He gave his word, or gentleman's agreement, that he wanted to come to Inter for a while. Everything was agreed with his agents. There's even rumors that Inter signed Bellanova. Bellanova is signed to the same football agency as Bremer. The sweetener deal, the little extra bump to try to close this deal. So you thought everything was in place. But as I always said, I don't understand why these transfer experts want to make things as this is done deal, 100% he's going to Inter, if there's no agreement with the club. Agreement with the player is the most basic step. That's the easiest part of a deal. This guy's coming from Torino. You triple his salary, 3 million a year. That's what Inter offered him, 3 million a year on net. Role as a starter, step up, Champions League football, challenging for the title. Easy. He's gonna accept. He's named after Bremer. Easy. But Torino, negotiating with Torino, Cairo, he's one of the most difficult people to negotiate with, the president of Torino. He's right up there, with the Lotitos, with the De Laurentiis, with all these, Italian presidents that are ball busters. Once you get in the negotiation room with them, yeah, it's their way or no way. We saw, this Cairo guy lost out massively when he could have got massive money for Belotti back in the day. But look, he stuck to his principle and his price, and he was trying to raise the price recently for Bremer, recently saying that, if Skriniar is worth 60-70 million, then why am I hearing 30 million for Bremer? It looks like he's got his wish, because in the end, Inter didn't manage to give them, what they wanted. They started negotiations only like last week. Like, we've had this agreement in place for so many months. We've known that he's a priority, but we waited so long to start negotiations for that, and we'll get into the reason for that as well, why that happened. Initial offer around 20-25 million euros. Loan with obligation, bang, rejected. They keep trying to up their offer. They insert Casadei, one of the youth players, as a loan in there as a sweetener, because apparently Torino's coach Juric likes him, and he's a future prospect, and he is of interest to Torino, so it intercepted him. Plus, upping the 25 million offer to around 27, 28, plus bonuses, taking it to 30. And then what happens is that Juventus on the other side, and if you see, there's a video on my channel where I talk about we need to hope that Bayern Munich do not buy De Ligt off Juventus. And at that point, there wasn't even any concrete links about Bremer. There was just some rumors that, Juventus may go to Bremer. But I knew that. Why wouldn't Juventus not go for the guy who's been voted the best defender in the league last year to replace De Ligt? Like, why? That's just the most logical move. And that's what happened. They sold De Ligt 70-80 millions. They have plenty of space now in terms of Liquidity, they got rid of a guy that was costing them around 10 to 12 million net in salary per year, plus the amortization cost. So this guy was costing them around 28 million a year on the books, and they got rid of that. And now they can go and buy his replacement for, 40, 45, 50 million, and not even half the salary, a third of his salary. This guy is going to be paid around 4 million. So absolute masterclass of a move that, I could see happening a mile off. But for some reason, and this is where the blame lies with Marotta and co, they needed to close this deal before this happened. You should have seen that, if De Ligt goes, Juve have this extra cash and extra space on the books. They are going to go for Bremer. You need to close this deal before that happens. They weren't able to do that. So this is where there's egg on the face of Marotta, Ausilio and team. And of course, Steven Zhang, Inter's owner, Inter's president, he is the one that deserves the most egg on the face in this deal, because there's a reason why Marotta wasn't able to close this deal before, because the fact that we're not able to inject any liquidity into this club, any capital injection into this club, it means that we have to wait for sales to happen before we can close this deal. That's why we've been waiting so long to start even negotiations. So either the only way to make this happen quicker was either you sell Pinamonti or the Skriniar, De Vrij, anyone, someone decent size needed to leave from the books. So this is where, the selling ability or the lack of selling ability comes into play from Inter. Absolute disaster, not being able to sell anyone up until now. Off note, we've been struggling. It's easy to sell Hakimi, easy. Like, he's the best at the time, best right wing back in the world. Easy to sell him, 68 million, boom, gone, done, bish bash bosh. Easy to sell Lukaku after he's won MVP, of Serie A, 150 million, nice. Anyone can do that. But they need to get better with selling the people that we need to sell. Pinamonti, he's been wanted by multiple clubs, but no one is he's still at Inter. He's still partaking in pre-season. He's still even partaking in some of the pre-season matches. We know he's not going to be at Inter this coming season. He needs to go. They need to step up with those negotiations. The other guys, these Lazzaros, obviously Dalba now has ACL, but these guys that are clearly on the way out, they're still here. They still haven't been able to raise the cash that we need to make, these incomings, if you see. And this is where it comes back to, the Steven Zhang thing. We're just not able to close deals because we don't have this liquidity ready. You see Bayern Munich, how long did they negotiate for De Ligt? Within a week, they've closed it. They flew out to Turin, finished, deal, done. That's how a serious club moves. Because, and this isn't even Bayern Munich, this isn't even their model. They don't even usually spend big money, but they know that, this season they need to. And they've even moved away from the usual very sustainable heavy model. But Inter, look at the deals that we're making loan deals. Lukaku is a loan, Aslani is a loan deal, Belanova is a loan deal. And when you look at where the money, Mkhitaryan free, Onana free, where is the money for these deals? When you see everything is actually balancing up right now. Belanova, Aslani, the fees for those were covered by the people that we sold. Gregorio, Gravillon sold for 3.5 million. There's actual outlay, there hasn't been actually real outlay for Inter yet this season, this summer. And that's where this whole Suning out thing is coming. It's not nothing against Suning per se, but if they're just not able to inject any capital into this team, Marotta and Ausilio, they just have their hands tied. They go into these negotiations with monopoly money. These teams know, Inter are gonna come, and they're gonna come with loan with obligation, loan with option, buy, option in 6-7 years and adding, a youth player. What does adding Casadei do to the actual loan? I mean, the last offer is actually quite considerable. Let's not lie. Inter's last offer, in total, gets to around 40 million in terms of loan plus obligation, plus adding Casadei, who they're valuing at 7.5 million actual outright, not just a loan of Casadei. And then there's a buyback option on Casadei for around 15 million. So if you add it all up, including the Casadei buyback, that adds up to around 50 million. Which, according to rumors, is what round about what the Juve offer is adding up with all the bonuses and stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, Bremer is gonna get more money at Juve, as I said, 4 million plus bonuses. So he might even end up getting around 5, depending on what these bonuses are. So more money from Juve, more money for Torino, and they have liquidity right now, so they're able to probably give more up front to Juve as well, to Torino, even though they're their rivals, Juve and Torino. And then Bremer, you know, obviously going back on his word and all this kind of stuff, but it is what it is. In 2022, those kind of, you know, oral agreements mean nothing, absolutely nothing. But yeah, the dream of a Skriniar, Bremer, Bastoni defense goes up in tatters. We were all dreaming of that trio, because that would have been easily one of the best defenses in Europe. Even, you know, I mean, or Inter's already is, but that would be taking up a notch, upgrading on De Vrij instantly. And the thing with Bremer is adding characteristics that we don't have. This is why it hurts. The Bremer thing, it hurts a lot more than the Dybala thing, because he adds that athleticism, that physicality. He's a modern defender in terms of he allows you to put your defense line higher up, high pressing. So completely different characteristics to De Vrij that this team actually does need. So this one definitely hurts. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. As I said, the Dybala one is like, it is what it is. But this one, Marotta, Zhang, you guys dropped the ball on this one. So the pressure now is on. We need Skriniar to stay now. That is the only way around this. I still, guys, you guys know I'm always pretty, over the last year or so, this channel is edging towards more negative than positive, and I'm still not 100% sure that Skriniar is going to stay. But now the only way to save this Mercato, because this is egg in our face, not just because of losing Bremer it's because you're losing Bremer and you're losing him to Juventus, and you're helping them potentially be the number one Scudetto contender, because now that is after the Mercato they've had of Pogba, Di Maria, Vlahovic, Chiesa's coming back, Bremer now, they're at the top. So there's pressure on Inter now. Is Skriniar, I don't care if the 70 million price tag is met by PSG. I need and I want and I hope Skriniar remains, and someone else still needs to be signed at the back, because at the back is where the priority needs to be. We still need a vice De Vrij, but in reality we need an upgrade on De Vrij and make De Vrij the vice of that person, which should have been obviously Bremer. Yeah, I'm seeing names on Demiral. I'm seeing Kim Min-jae, or the Fenerbahce guy. Seeing obviously Milenkovic rumors. Let's see what the name comes up, but it needs to be a serious name. It needs to be a serious name for sure. And of course we still have to deal with the 60+ million that we need to make in this transfer window. If it's not Skriniar, who the hell is it going to be? So once again, Steven Zhang, we need some clarity. And at the same time, we're seeing Steven Zhang is being sued for 250 million, so he just lost a lawsuit. So more uncertainty and more doubts flying over Inter. So hashtag sooning out, unfortunately for me, is still the motive, still remains. But let's see, Beppe Marotta is still at the helm. I still have faith that we're going to recover by the end of this Mercato, but let's see. The pressure is on Inter. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about this whole Bremer thing. What do you make? Is it a big loss, or you're not losing sleep over it? Who's the alternatives that Inter should go for? Let me know in the comments down below. Repping the new Inter kit, but not particularly a happy day for me today. But, you know, tomorrow is a new day. Let's see what happens. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.